But one of the things I learned early on is that the system's going to do what it's going to do. You can come in as aware, as woke, as, whatever background, but it is a machine.
That's right.
And it was built for a purpose.
That's right.
And that was to oppress and control Black people. And we know that. Our history tells us that. It is in the 13th Amendment that abolished slavery except as punishment for crime. So what I learned is that a system that is rooted in racial oppression, that was built for that purpose, is always going to produce the fruit of harm and racial disparities and mistreatment of the people that it was intentionally set up to target. So what my journey has been was recognizing I made a little difference. I'm not going to say that it didn't matter to have a prosecutor making some of those decisions, but I also contributed to a lot of harm because the options in the toolbox are very limited in the system, and those options don't address the drivers, what actually caused people to make the decisions that they make. And so I left the system. I went to a place where I was working with folks who had that power, DAs elected on platforms of change, to address racial disparities, to be more transparent, to end mass incarceration. But even in that situation, as we put policies in place and we had prosecutors doing their job differently, those reforms would always pause when it came to violence. When people are willing to almost do anything, try different things in the system, whether that's diversion, whether that's bail reform, until it's a violent incident. And we will never end mass incarceration until we address violence. So I was excited to hear about Equal Justice USA, to learn about, and have been learning over the last 9 months, the incredible work and movement that is out here that centers violence and starts with the hardest thing and understands that those closest to the problem are closest to the solution and must be closest to the power. And that's the example that exists here and the story that we need to tell. So